Okay, y'all. Well, here is your Spanish 1 Lección Uno Part 1 assessment. There are two parts to this test. This first part is worth 78 points, and you can see that there are multiple parts to this test. There's 12 to Part 1. Let's take a look at question 1. This is a listening comprehension of letters. You're going to listen to your teacher spell 5 groups of 4 random letters in Spanish. Type each group of letters you hear. Put a space between each letter. Okay, so this is going to be a teacher giving you guys 4 random letters in Spanish. You type them in the blank with a space in between. Okay, so how about we just play it for you, at least number 1 for you.
Listen as I spell 5 groups of random letters in Spanish. Each set of letters will be repeated twice within the number. Número 1. J, Q, G, A. J, Q, G, A.
All right, so she spelled out J, Q, G, A.
Wait, is that the voice of the person?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Okay? So you will place in this box what you hear. Okay? Pregunta dos. So, número dos. Listening comprehension. Listen to the recording. Spell 5 words in Spanish. Type the words that you hear. Okay? They will now be giving you letters, and you spell the words. Let's listen to number 1.
Listen as 5 words and expressions you have learned are spelled aloud. Each word will be spelled twice. Write each word as it is spelled.
1. L. A con acento. P. I. C. E. S. L. A con acento. P. I. C. E. S.
Okay, so he spelled a word based on the letters that he gave you. You spell out the word. Okay? So make sure you know which ones you're spelling. Got it? Any questions on number 1, by the way? With
Alright, so are we just putting like a Spanish letter in the box?
on number 2 or number 1?
One.
1, you put Spanish letter, space, Spanish letter, space.
And it's just a singular letter.
They're just random letters. We're not spelling anything.
Yeah, alright.
Number 2, you're spelling out a word with the letters I give you. Okay? All right, question 3. Conversations. Pilar is talking with some new students at school. Choose the most appropriate response to each thing she says. Okay, so for all of these, you'd choose the most logical response. If you had como te llamas, you'd probably pick, what do you think? Probably me llamo Pablo. Okay, and then for all of these, you're going to choose the correct response for these, or the most logical response for number 3. Everybody understand? See? And then match the expressions you would use to greet or say goodbye to the following people in these situations. So what you have here are 5 situations, and you're going to say to greet your teacher in the afternoon, you're going to drag and drop one of these 5 expressions. Okay, or to greet the principal in the morning, tell a classmate goodbye, you'll use one of these 5 expressions. Okay, so hopefully you guys understand what that looks like. Section 5, question 5, choose what you would say in the following situations. Ask a student how he's doing. Tell someone that you're pleased to meet them. Again, there are 5 things that you would put in these boxes to do those kinds of things. Okay, hopefully you understand what those are asking you to do. For number 6, complete the following conversation between Nina and Carlos by choosing correct question phrases. Pick the correct question by looking at the answers below. Okay, so Nina and Carlos. For the first one, it says, Hola, soy Nina. And what might you put in that box? You might put one of those things according to the answer, because Carlos says, Me llamo Carlos, and then he asks a question of any of those things. Based on that, here's the answer. Okay, and you figure out which questions go in each box according to the answers that are given to you. Okay. Section 7, fill in the blanks with the appropriate words or phrases to complete the following sentence among 3 people. Okay. Against all these are given to you. Francis says, hola, blank, blank, Francis. Okay. Figure out which one goes in there. Juan dice, probably I am Juan. Okay. And then complete the conversation between Juan and Francis. Okay. Question 8. Definite articles. Choose the definite article based on the noun given. So you have a bunch of nouns and a bunch of articles. Well, you only have 4 articles. Okay, and you have to choose, is mono el, la, los, or las? Lápices is el, la, los, or las. Make sure you pick the correct article that goes with each of the nouns. Okay, hopefully that's not too confusing. Okay, question 9. Choose the article based on the English translation. So if you have the boys, you're going to want to have what chicos, okay? Make sure that you know that the is expressed el, la, los, and las. And a, like a community would be un, una, unos, or unas. Okay, you need to know what those are as well, okay? So those are definite and indefinite articles. Okay, numbers, section 10 or question 10, indicate which with the other, try that again. Indicate whether each statement is cierto, true, or false, falso. Okay, remember that más means plus, menos means minus, and son means equal. So número uno says sauce. 6 más 15 son 21. And if you know that 6 plus 15 is 21, you click cierto, hopefully. So you need to know your numbers there. Okay, and then true and false. Numbers in sequence. Look at the pattern of the numbers and fill in the missing number in sequence. Okay, so here you have once, blank, trece, catorce. And if we know our numbers in order, we should know that 11, and then 12, and then 13, and then 14. Okay, so know your numbers in order of sequence there. Okay, and then question 12. Capital cities and countries indicate whether each statement is lógico or ilógico, makes sense or is illogical. So number 1 says, La capital de Argentina es Peru. Hopefully you know that Argentina and Peru are both countries. So you'd pick probably illogical. Okay? So making sure you know if these statements are logical or illogical. Okay? So this is part 1 of your test. And there's no questions on part 1 so far? All right, let's look at part 2. Okay? We're going to go back. By the way, this one is worth 78 points. Part 2, I'm going a little bit out of whack here. Perhaps I need to get it out of full screen. Still recording. Yes, I'm still recording. All right, so this is part 2. So you're going to read the statements, listen to the voicemail message, indicate whether each statement is true or false. Okay, and you have a voice message that's being given here. Okay, so let's listen to part 1, question 1.
Lección 1, prueba A.
Hola, Marisa. Soy Jaime, el conductor del autobús. ¿Cómo estás? Yo estoy regular. Oye, hay un problema. Hay 3 maletas y un libro en el autobús. Las maletas son de los pasajeros de Costa Rica. Pero, ¿de quién es el libro? Son las 10 de la mañana y mi número de teléfono es el 24 30 12. Muchas gracias.
When we play this, I will play this audio twice so you get to hear it. Okay, and then you'll answer these with cierto or falso. All right, making sure that you know if those statements are true or false. Okay, question 2. Fill in the blanks with the corresponding subject pronouns. Subject pronouns. Okay, so if I is English, what's the yo? Wow. What's the Spanish form of I? Yo. Okay, you, formal, familiar, those kinds of things. He, she, we, they. Make sure you're typing in the correct pronouns for those. We do not worry about vos otros. Question 3, write the correct subject pronoun in the blank next to each picture. Okay, this one's a little bit tough. Okay, when you look at these pictures, you may not know that they are pointing to them. Okay, they're pointing to them. He is pointing to you all. Okay, they are pointing to him. This is talking about we. He's pointing to himself. He's talking about she, or in this case, maybe a little formal. And then he's pointing to you. Okay, so make sure you know who they're pointing to when you have those questions. Okay, hopefully that's not too confusing. All right. Okay, question 4. Fill in the blanks with the correct conjugation of the present tense of the verb ser. Okay, making sure to include the subject pronoun. So if you have the subject pronoun, you better have both parts. If I am is English, what's I am in Spanish? Yo soy. Okay, make sure you have the subject pronoun that goes with it. Super important, muy importante. Question 5. Select the correct subject pronoun. Select the correct conjugation of ser. Select the country whose capital is listed. Okay, so in this case, he is from La Paz. So we know who he is. We better know who the he form of ser is, and then what country is La Paz in. You need to know that as well. Okay, and then Managua, Bogota, Montevideo. Okay, you get the picture. Okay, make sure you have the correct pronoun, form of ser, and the country. Okay, unit 6. Select a phrase that correctly states the time on the clock. Okay, so for all of these pictures, you'll have a correct time. Okay, so you'll come up here and choose for number 1. Hopefully you say son las 6. Good. Okay, and then choose all the correct ones for all of those. Okay. Y la última parte, or the last part. Holy smokes, where are you? Question 7. Again, select the phrase that corresponds to each picture. Okay, so if this is 12 o'clock, we should know that it's probably going to be midnight or midday or noon or midnight. Okay, and then if it's 9:06 p.m., we should know. Okay, a.m. All right, so we should know all the correct answers to those. So those are your 2 parts of your unit test. We will at least start these on the next class period. We may have to finish it on the following class period. I'm not sure. It just depends. Okay? ¿Hay preguntas, questions? No questions? All right, I'm going to stop sharing.